Nerding out with you anymore. Welcome. Today we're here with Jasper Newton. Jasper, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming down, making the ride from Maine.
Absolutely.
What's your goal? What's your goal in this industry?
Wow. To preserve some kind of craft cannabis that isn't Walmart weed.
There you go. So you craft
To
cannabis.
smoke something other than machine-trimmed salts.
Yeah, mass produced.
To educate people on the fact that there is a choice now. No different than the craft beer model. A lot of small cannabis owners are modeling themselves after the craft beer people. You see Bissell Brothers with the lines because people have realized I can drink something other than Budweiser.
Yeah.
Everyone is realizing I can smoke something other than Cali Packs. I can smoke something other than my grandpa's off the hill moldy shit because that's all we had for so long.
Yeah. I'm really happy to see how much it has changed with like selection, because I remember like being a teenager and like literally only knowing of like 3 different weeds maybe.
Absolutely.
And then to see now how like there is just such a craft market with all these different flavors,
right,
different profiles, and then you have all the people's individual like growing skills tied into it.
Absolutely.
Which dictates the finished product. So there's a lot of variety. It's cool to see like how
you got a weed dictionary right here, buddy. You can get online. I mean,
I
was having the conversation with him the other day. The genetics are there. Mom and dad fucking, they're probably going to make a cute baby if they're cute parents. Well, you have the genetics now that you put these two things together, you have a high probability of having something that's decent weed. Like you said, then it all gets into the hands of the grower.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of like breeding yourself, or do you just?
I do a little bit of breeding now with Heroes of the Farm out in Oregon.
Okay.
And Pat, who runs that, has been the one that teach me all that. Essentially, all I did was bring his cuts back and then pollinate them in Maine so they can be made in Maine so I can sell them in Maine.
Yeah.
But it's been a very hand-holding, like I didn't figure it out on my own. Like he sent me with a book, day this, day that, da-da-da, like coming out and visiting to make sure it was all. He's very particular about his stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to be doing it, he wants to make sure it's done his way.
Wow,
but he is from Maine, so his whole idea is to bring his genetics back to his home state. Because he's out in Oregon now, blowing up huge.
Yeah.
He doesn't have time to be here, but he knows that he can trust me and that I can do a decent job.
Yeah.
So
that's cool that he does that kind of hand-holding, because that, I mean, he really stands behind the flower.
Oh yeah, that's huge for him. He wouldn't do it otherwise.
So do you do like a lot of pheno hunting? Like when you find a strain, you pop like a bunch of seeds?
I do. I just popped 150 seeds about a month ago.
Wow.
Only about 8 different strains, I think.
Yeah.
I like to go through more than a 10-pack when I pop seeds.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to be found in there if you have the time and room to do it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I popped a 10-pack, this is what I found, it's a keeper. A lot of people, because they spent $200 on a pack of seeds, feel that they have to keep something out of it.
Yeah.
So they pick the best one. Well, this is the keeper, I'm going to keep it. Well, my standards of what I'm going to keep are very high, so I go through a lot of seeds because I have no problem throwing shit away. Yeah,
there's a lot of people that wouldn't do that. They would want to get something out of that $200. It's funny.
Right. I did. I got education. I got selection.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity. I mean, you still get a lot out of it. Just because you didn't keep it doesn't mean that it didn't give you anything.
Yeah.
You're still going to smoke weed at the end of it.
Yeah.
It may not be weed that's good enough for me to put on market as my weed or show off or whatever, but still weed.
And you get to know that individual for a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Check that out. So when you pheno hunt, like what kind of character, is there like a combination of characteristics you look for? Or like is there something specific that stands out to you? Maybe without revealing too much
excuse me.
Sauce.
There's always, when I look over a tray of seedlings, there's always going to be ones that pick my eye, be it segregation of leaf, internode stacking, different things. I will, excuse me, I will pick favorites throughout the whole time. But I don't make any choices until it's done and dried and smoked.
Yeah.
Because too many times there's been one in the corner that I'm like, and then all of a sudden it comes smoke day and I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I should have kept that one, you know?
Yeah.
And I've lost multiple seeds being like, oh no, she doesn't look right. I don't like how she's growing.
Yeah. It's crazy because you can go off of like just sheer like yields and how a plant grows, or you could go off of what it produces for like that terpene profile, because those are chemicals that are important in the process.
Yeah.
Or even for maybe even just raw oil production. I wonder if certain plants maybe just produce more resin than others, and then that comes into play at the end, because if you're going to like extractions, then that's all you're really worried about.
If you look at Cuban or Matt Rise or Jungle Boys or any Mega Raw, any of the guys that are making hash, they all have strains that they know wash better than another.
Yeah.
There's just strains that produce resin that's different.
Yep.
But that's part of the reason I like smoking flowers. So when you make an extraction, you take that head off of the stalk, and that's all you get.
Yeah, off the cap.
But it comes to us like this. There's a reason it comes to it like this. You take a dab of the best shit that you can find, and you smoke a joint of the best shit you can find. In my opinion, the joint's gonna get you higher. It's gonna last longer. It's gonna be a more enjoyable high that I enjoy, as opposed to like a 20-minute rush. Yeah. And then it's kind of, you know.
So what do you think is like, what is actually in the flower that like?
I don't know, buddy. Then you get into scientific shit that I don't know. Well, whoever made this, that's what's in
nature.
It. You know what I mean? Like, why would you fuck with it?
Already figured it out,
Yeah, why? It doesn't need to, you know what I mean?
Don't fix it.
Nobody does anything with mushrooms when they come out of the ground. They just eat it. Well, I saw some kid tried to press them on a rosin press the other day. Did you see that?
No.
He squished fresh mushrooms on his rosin press. And then he squished dried mushrooms on his rosin press.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, there was definitely something there. It looked disgusting. I don't know, like, I can't imagine. I don't think you could smoke mushrooms, can you? So you couldn't dab it. I guess you could eat it.
I think I've smoked
scoop it up
before.
Dude, I tried smoking banana peels before when I was a kid. Well,
that's supposed to actually make you energetic.
It made me think I was going to die of cough. Oh, bro, it was so horrible. I took a big milky bong rip of it and was just like,
oh yeah, like maybe 15. Not a bong rip, but yeah. I think if you do smoke like the inside, it's supposed to be like a mild stimulant.
Yeah, somebody, I remember somebody told me that shit. Oh man. But yeah, anyway, I don't know, man. I don't know what's in it. I don't think it's necessarily what's in it. I think it's how it all interacts.
Yeah.
Because what you do when you extract something is you take all the rest of it away, whether it's BHO or bubble hash or anything else. Yeah. You take the vegetable matter out of it, and whatever else happens to be in that vegetable matter.
Well, fats, lipids, chlorophyll.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Well, when you make bubble hash, you don't get rid of all that. That's why there's a char on the nail when people have bubble hash. A lot of the times, or a little char, there's still the fats and lipids in there. BHO dissolves it. That's why rosin hash is becoming such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because you can then take that bubble hash that still has all that in it, squish it out, then you get the 6 stars, super melt, blah blah blah.
I had a friend that had a nice press, like a carver.
Yeah. I have a DAC extractor. Super nice. It's like this big, but it's 20 ton.
Yeah. Do you like a lot of rosin?
I'm a joint smoker, man. Yeah, I mean, I like rosin so that I can smear it on my papers and roll joints with it. Yeah. I don't take. I mean, I take some dabs, but
she was going crazy with that stuff.
Yeah, she actually came up and visited me after she was down here.
Oh, sweet!
Like hung out in the living room for a couple hours.
That's
and
funny.
Probably told a lot of the same stories she told you, but
they
were all new to me. She's been hustling for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we talked about her book.
Well, yeah.
And then I actually bought the book.
So did I.
Yeah,
You paid $30 for it, right?
Yeah,
so did I.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, craft cannabis. I'm glad that it's gonna be like that though, because
I hope so, man.
I don't want to see it like just Budweiser.
Right, but here's the thing: so you're speaking that way, I'm guessing, because you're smoking personal weed.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids aren't smoking the weed. They just want to buy packs and flip it.
Yeah.
So it's almost, we're catching up to the West Coast a lot faster than I thought we would, coming from the West Coast. And having already seen it, like the race to the bottom is already starting.
Yeah.
Like if he's selling his quarters for $100, I'm going to sell mine for $75 because I'm tired of sitting on them because my weed's not as good as his, so it doesn't move as fast, so then I have to lower the price. Well, you just fucked up the market. Yeah. How about you just grow better weed? You know what I mean?
Basic business principles, I guess.
They know math really well. If I can get a pound for this and sell it down here for that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But yeah, the business principle of it, no, they don't get it. They don't understand. Well, why do you charge what you charge? Well, let me explain to you the last 5 months of this plant's life and my life and the 2 people that works on its lives, like how much I paid in bills and how much people don't understand that it is a business. It's not, it doesn't matter if it's cannabis, it doesn't matter if it's a recording studio, it doesn't matter if it's a fucking whatever. It's the business end of it now is the same business as any other business.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that I can't put my money in the banks.
It's just all applied to this now.
Yeah, it's no different, man. Why do you think all the business people are getting into it? Because now they're on a comfortable ground.
Oh, yeah.
Before they didn't know what the fuck was going on. Well, I can't get into weed. I don't know anything about it. And the weed people wouldn't let them in. Fuck no, suit. I'm not going to let you in. Well, now all of a sudden all these people are like, wait, you're going to give me a 10,000 square foot spot and da-da-da-da-da. Well, That's cool.
I wonder what the benefits in the future, if we see any, will come from legalization, other than like I guess education,
testing,
maybe
hopefully.
testing, yeah, cleaner, better access.
That would be nice. There's a place in Maine that I won't name on camera, but they have been busted multiple times just since I've been in Maine for selling shit that tested for. I'm not going to speak on it because I don't remember what it was, but it tested for something to the point where they were like, Danny, you're going to buy some weed? Well, that's cool. It's $100. Oh, by the way, it got sprayed with da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And people are still buying it.
DDT.
And that's why I'm like, that's where the lack of education is. Like, you realize that last little fine print that they just told you means you shouldn't smoke it. But there's so many people that have the mentality, especially the older generation. Well, we smoke shit from Mexico that was sprayed with paraquat and blah, 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 blah. So what fucking difference does it make? Well, it makes a lot of difference, old man. Why the fuck do you think you have so many health issues right now?
Yeah.
Why do you think your buddy just died of cancer at 40 years old? Like, these are the things that we're starting to realize. That's why having the younger generation learning, hey, this is good weed, this isn't. I'm gonna smoke the good weed. I'm gonna penny up the extra $2 a fucking gram or whatever they end up paying, you know?
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, it would be nice for the guys that want to focus
something that
on
you
quality.
consume. I mean, you're consuming this, you
Right.
know? Like, why would you not want something that's better for you, healthier for you?
Unfortunately, the honest answer is because just like McDonald's, it's easier to get, you know what I mean? Let's go eat lunch. Okay, there's two options that are vegan or healthy or non-GMO, but we can fucking go across the street to Burger King. You know what I mean?
Yeah, billions.
And if you're selling people lunch, it's no different. Like, oh, I can get this pound for $300 less, even though I know it's shittier weed. All they're doing is selling it.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. They're not consuming it.
No. It's a business to them. It's a way for them to make money.
Yeah.
Just like...
So how do you grow all this beautiful product? Do you a soil guy?
I am a 100% soil guy. All soil are all organic. I mix a lot of my own soil.
Okay.
I use a lot of nectar of the gods in between and or teas to... Other than that, it's all fairly simple. Like, I'm not a scientific guy.
No.
I can't tell you why the things work together in certain ways and all that shit. I just know how to grow weed. Like, I did it and it came out well.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's...
I saw this guy he tried a bunch of different like hydroponic methods.
Right.
And like for making nutrients, and he tried peaponics.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Peeing on your plant?
Well, you make a tea basically from your urine.
No, man. I've never heard of that.
But
I've heard of some funky shit.
Yeah,
I've
he tried a
never
bunch of
heard
different
that.
things, but one of them was peaponics.
How'd it come out?
It didn't come out that good.
Did it come out like the cat piss? Did it have that ammonia?
No, but that'd be funny if it did.
Yeah. Hey,
I haven't seen any cat piss in
No,
years,
bro.
dude. I haven't seen anything like that in years.
I haven't been in Southern Cal in a long time where it tends to hang out, but even then, that's one that's... Real cat piss, I think, is hard to find nowadays.
I think I've only seen it full time, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that kind of... It's like roadkill skunk. It went away for so long, and now all of a sudden people are like, oh no, I got it. But I have yet to see any of it, even from the big name dudes out in Colorado that supposedly have it.
Yeah.
Why does it all smell like sweet skunk? That's not what roadkill smelled like when I lived in the Pacific Northwest. Like, you knew when you smelled that shit. And it's not that sweet skunk. It's not that island skunk. Yeah. So,
Dang.
some of that shit just gets lost, unfortunately, man, you know?
Yeah, because with breeding and people after certain qualities and...
Well, here's the thing. You got to look at when that roadkill was popular. You couldn't have a stinky-ass garage without going to jail. You couldn't have, you know what I mean? That's why the rumor is that it got sent to somewhere because people just couldn't have it. It was too fucking stinky. Mm. And the laws were not in the way they were now where they'd be like, oh, it's a medical grow. Of course it stinks or whatever.
Makes sense.
It was, you're going to jail because I can smell that shit.
You know Todd McCormick?
I do. I've met him a couple times. It's always at events.
Yeah.
And unfortunately at events, the meetings are really brief. Hey, how's it going? It's nice to meet you. You shake hands and you do that 1,000 times. So then it's kind of like, oh yeah, I met him, but we didn't really get a chance to chat.
Yeah, he did like back in 2012 when it was legalized here, he did like a little class down in Rhode Island that I went to. That was pretty cool and informative.
That's cool.
That was when I learned about like full melt dry sift and stuff like that.
Right.
Nice clean heads.
Yeah, that used to be the thing back before, you know what I mean? There was an era in time where that was the best of the best. He talked to Bubba, man, it still is, you know? He still likes his dry sift.
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of dry sift nowadays. One of my guys
So-
actually, Meadows,
takes
wants
so
to
much
do.
labor.
That's his new thing. He's like, bro, I'm gonna clean up all the heads and do the. It does.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't like the taste of dry sift.
No?
Even really good dry sift has that
Really?
dry sift taste.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I never...
At least anything that I've tried.
Yeah.
Just has a certain...
I love... Well, I like it after it's pressed.
Yeah.
I like pressed, like traditional hash,
Yeah,
pressed,
right.
dry sift.
Right.
And then I feel like I love hash like that. It's all like bubble hash now. Nobody around here really does that because it takes so much labor.
No, and even the bubble hash now, nobody wants the bubble hash. They all want the hash rosin, so they want you to take the hash and then make hash rosin out of it.
Yeah.
And then they want to bitch about the price because they don't realize, again, from the business aspect, takes this much cannabis to
Yeah.
make this much hash, which then turns into this much hash rosin.
Yeah.
So then, like, that's why out west, all the big hash makers, the $200 grams, the 150, why is it so high? Well, because you have to buy the initial product for a set amount, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to wash it and lose all the yield and everything else. So if you end up with an ounce out of this, you have to compensate. Okay, well, that means each ounce costs set amount because I need to pay for the product, I need to pay for my time. It's all strain dependent. That's why they like washing the hash strains. It's either 6-star or it yields a lot. I mean, they all have their different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But
I saw that Green Bros actually partnered with Pure Pressure.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you know those companies.
yeah. I've watched a couple of their hash rosin videos at some point in time, I think.
Yeah, they got a cool. Drip Tech's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I like that method
right?
with rosin where it flows.
Yeah.
And,
Putting it on the heat mats.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Michigan, he just puts it on his cable box.
no shit.
Yeah. Your cable box, supposedly, according to him, runs around 100 degrees, which is what people are putting. So if you don't have an oven,
Yeah.
the ghetto fabulous way to do it is you put it on a seed mat, you know, the seedling mats that you can heat up for germinating seeds.
Yeah.
Set that at 100 degrees, or this dude puts it on his cable box for like 3 days.
No shit.
Yeah. So all these kids are like, oh, I want to get an oven so I can do this. You don't need an oven. Just fucking scroll through Instagram while you're pooping and pay attention. You find all kinds of shit.
Yeah. So, you pheno hunt, you living soil?
No.
No, but you just mix it yourself.
I just, different amendments. that
What size pots do you like to use?
I use 20-gallon pots.
Fabric pot?
Yep.
Yeah. You ever use those air pots? They're like the plastic ones with the dimples?
I have.
You know,
I'm not, I mean, you get the same effect I feel out of a smart pot or
Yeah.
any other. It's all about air pruning the roots.
Yep.
Whether it's in a small hole or the whole side of the pot,
Yeah.
it's still just to kill those roots so it builds a
Yeah.
bigger inner
The air
circle.
pots too, if the media is dry, like water runs out, like you gotta like water them slowly.
Yep. And they're a bitch. You gotta take them apart, rinse them all out, all those little divots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can take my smart pots, I can throw them in a 200-gallon reservoir that I have.
Yeah.
Tell the cleaning kid, guess what you're doing tonight?
I saw I forget where it was, but some farm used the air pots, but they built like a trough, and it was on a rack, and they built a machine that would pull the thing out like a giant 100-foot tray,
Yeah.
and like process the plants as it would come off, and like roll it up.
Right.
And it was like crazy, like automated, like
You're seeing a lot of that now. As these farms get bigger,
yeah,
they're just incorporating agricultural things that have already been in place.
Yeah.
That machine was there to do soybeans or something
Yeah, for
before.
sure.
They've been using it for years.
Yeah.
They just never thought of, just like the planters. All summer long when you see the hemp guys sitting in the little chair behind the thing,
yeah,
fucking clones coming out.
Yeah.
They've been doing that with corn and all kinds of shit for decades. They just never thought that they would be putting weed plants through 'em.
well, because it's been illegal since like 1930, right?
Right. So then the smart people that have the money, why are you gonna pay Joe Blow to be out there planting by hand when you can rent a fucking planter for $6,000 and plant 6,000 plants or whatever the numbers are,
Yeah.
you know? You're gonna see a lot of it now. You're gonna see more automation of shit. You already see the trimmers.
Yeah,
You're
you
gonna
really
see
are.
the planting
you
things.
see that they
You're
have
gonna
the batches
see.
now,
Yeah.
like the big batchers and
Yeah.
shit.
It's all coming.
I saw another company came out with a box for rehydrating cannabis and infusing terpenes into product.
What?
Yeah, I thought that was, I don't know.
Why is it dehydrated in the first
No,
place?
yeah, right? Yeah. Well, I guess because you're trying to recover some lost.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Like we were saying with the
But also
jars, you know what I mean?
infusing
Like,
terpenes, you know, like it's kind of, so you could take something and just infuse some terpenes into it. And
Yeah.
But it's not natural.
no. Just like the pens. All these people want the pens. This is blueberry muffins and this is cotton candy. Can I just have the one that tastes like weed, please?
Yeah.
Like,
seriously.
can I just have the weed one?
No.
Is there a regular weed one?
Yeah.
No, it's all
Actually, probably the best tasting cartridge I ever had was from Maine, and it was like, I think the guy said it was a winterized CO2, but it was like you hit a bomb.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Who got you that? Do you remember?
It was like 5 years ago at a concert.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known him anyway. I was just curious if it was somebody now. There's a lot of people up there making pens.
Yeah.
It's the new hot shit, man. And I get it. You can stand at the bus stop next to the dude that's hitting his vape pen, and you can hit yours, and nobody knows. I get it. But they're also made with shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's the unfortunate, and again, the education part, you know? There's people now that are making nicer pens. Because people are realizing, oh, you're using a bunch of garbage.
And you're seeing full spectrum pens and stuff.
Absolutely. I actually hit one today. When I stopped and met a guy on the way down here, he's like, bro, you gotta try this. It's really good. And it was. It was really smooth. Tasted like weed. It was, what did he, rosin sauce or something like him. Yeah. Something new every couple days with these kids.
For sure. So you like to do like stress training and stuff, or like defoliation, or?
I don't. I top my plants a lot.
Yep.
I top them often and early. I don't do a whole lot of defoliation until the end. I am starting to do a little more. Mm-hmm. I still go back and forth with some of the people whose opinion I look up to when I look to people for questions for growing weed.
Yeah.
It's a solar panel for the plant.
Yeah.
Right? So you take the solar panel away. Yeah. What happens? You come back, you say you de-leaf everything day 21.
It's forced to put energy to grow in all new leaves now.
And that's exactly it. It comes back, you come back at week 5, it's growing new leaves. So then it had to take that energy to grow the leaves. Mm-hmm. But then they're still getting giant nugs. Well, it's because they're pumping them so full of shit that they can do that. Mm-hmm. I can leave my leaves and put the energy towards flowers that come out. And
so you don't take off really any leaves?
I definitely take off some.
Just
but like I know people that go like extreme.
Yeah.
Like I have friends, and here's the thing, and he's the one I always use as an example of. Hopefully he will hear this and he'll know I'm talking about him. He goes fucking buck wild. Like, he rapes the fuck out of that room. Like, I've seen it. I come in on day 19, and I'm like, bro, this is beautiful. And then I've come in on day 22, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? You actually paid someone to do this. Dude, it's amazing. And then you come back at the end, and they all look great. Big, huge nugs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I get it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of weight out of the room, da-da-da.
Better for airflow. A lot of people.
There's a lot of benefits
people don't have
to it.
humidity in check, so that helps with that. Makes it easier.
It does.
Because humidity is bad in the Northeast.
It is. I wanted to buy a snowmobile about a month back, and instead I spent $8,000 on dehumes so that I can keep my room where the fuck it needs to be this winter. Yeah, I got a couple quests. Yeah. So yeah, no, there's a lot of issues that go into it, and then at the end of it all, there is, like we discussed earlier, there's the price point market. Like, yeah. If I can grow X amount and get this much for it, but he can grow X amount and get that much for it, pumping it full of shit, then he's going to pump it full of shit and get more money.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it makes sense, too, like, the whole soil thing, because, like, that's how, like, nature intended it, you know?
That's why I've always done it that way.
To pull from the soil.
I've never tried any hydroponics. I know people that do it. I understand how it works, but it's just weird to me. And then you get into all the other weird shit, and it's just... Yeah. Like... I was talking with Sherbert the other day, the guy that makes the pencils, and he's like, it works just like it is. Why the fuck do you have to fuck with it? Well, if it grows in the ground just fine, why do anything but other than replicate what Mother Nature does? Yeah. The best you can, and see what happens, but it's no different than anything else. A mason jar is not good enough. We gotta fuck with it and tweak it. Yeah. So after however many years of growing inside, people have tried different shit. Yeah. I like the flavor of organic soil-grown weed. I don't feel like there's anything that can match that. Well, outdoor sun-grown weed, terpene-wise, but it's still grown in the soil. It's not high, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's why I do that. Flavor at the end of the day. The reason why gives you a little forgiveness. You fuck up on a hydroponic res and you hit your shit with a pH that's fucked up. Yeah. You can kill the whole room. Meadows fucks up on something. Cool, buddy, we got some dead leaves and shit. What did you do? Oh, well, I didn't calculate or calibrate the pH meter last week, so it's off by a couple points. Yeah. Cool, there's a buffer in that soil that will allow you to have those kind of mistakes. For sure. So. And then people run hydroponics, like, they put too much oxygen, which increases that, like, onset time, too. So problems can
facilitate really fast.
I think it goes back to me being a cook. If you're a cook, you can have a pot of shit in front of you. I'm gonna throw a little of this in there, throw a little of that in there, see how it goes, add this, add that. Hydroponics and shit, you have to be exact, more like a baker. A quarter tablespoon of this at this time, otherwise it doesn't work. Yeah. Soil, you have that forgiveness. You can fuck around a little bit. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hit it with 6.8 instead of 6.2. Well, it'll be all right. I'll just hit it next time with a 6 to, you know. So.
Yeah, and hydroponics requires so much infrastructure too.
You do, and it's a lot of water, which a lot of people don't have. I always like having vegetable gardens, so it's always really nice to be able to just recycle the soil, use it for an outdoor. Like, you only buy it once, just re-inoculate it, add shit to it.
Do you grow any type of greenhouse or anything, or?
I do a little outdoor, but this is all indoor. Yeah. I do an outdoor patch just for me and the boys, just for fun. Yeah. Just to see how, you know, how it goes. Like I said, all I'm trying to do is duplicate Mother Nature. If I can sit on my porch and smoke a joint for 30 minutes and to watch those plants, how they move, how they fucking sway, how they grow, it just gives me more of an idea of how shit should be or could be.
They're such pretty plants. I just love. That's why I like photography, because like it started with pictures of weed.
Absolutely, that's how mine started. Well, I was growing weed when I was 18 because I just wanted to and had an opportunity. But after that, it was actually somebody's photography that got me back into it. I'm like, wow, that's what weed looks like nowadays. Yeah. Because I was in Alaska. We only saw whatever the fuck could get up there. So.
What type of lights you like to use?
I have phantoms in my room. I would rather have Gavitas, but when you get a line of credit from a grocery store and that's what they give you, you shake the man's hand and say thank you.
Yeah,
and
seriously.
Hang the fucking lights. So that's how that went down. I have phantoms and I run some 315s from Sunlight, the CFLs or CMHs, excuse me. Yeah. Yeah, I like to mix
people like those. Yeah, they love those. Yeah, 315s. Yeah.
Adds a lot of resin weight, I feel, or not a lot of resin weight, but it definitely helps with the resin and it helps bring out a lot of the colors. Yeah. There's actually people that are just dumping the double enders and going full rooms of 315s.
Really?
Or 630s or whatever.
Yeah. From start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just it. The veg loves them.
Yeah. You know? Oh, yeah, for sure. It's bluer.
Yeah. So.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Since you're in soil, like, and you got those dehumidifiers, then humidity's definitely checked, so you can get the room nice and cool and dry. Bring out these colors, actually, right?
Yeah, I try not to get too much. I don't actually drop the temps to bring. I just happen to grow a lot of fucking strains that throw a lot of colors.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I could definitely do it. My room never goes below 70 degrees at night.
Oh, sure.
I don't like having a big temperature swing from day to night because then that incorporates a big humidity swing.
Yeah.
When you get spikes like that, that's when you start running into issues. Yeah. People a lot of the times don't realize, they think it's, oh, my humidity's high. It's not necessarily that it's high. I mean, if it's high, it's an issue. But even the people that have lower humidity that end up with an issue just don't pay attention to the spike. Like, as soon as those lights go off.
Yeah, latent load.
Yeah, it just
jacks.
Yeah.
90%.
Right, yeah. Exactly. So then you come in and you check your thing, you're like, holy shit, it got to 90% last night. Well, it didn't stay at 90%, it spiked at 90%, and then your dehumes kicked on. So just turn your dehumes on a few minutes earlier, you know?
Yeah. Anybody in Maine using solar?
Like for an indoor?
Just in general.
In general, not that I know of. I talked to a solar company about doing mine.
That'd be cool. Yeah. It would be even more sustainable.
It would, but it's incredibly expensive because I'm doing an indoor.
Yeah.
If you could do a greenhouse where you could supplement without
with plug solar, and it was off-grid systems. You could just plug them into literally any outlet, and it feeds the grid.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I would like to look into it. I've for outdoor for sure, or not outdoor, but greenhouses to run the supplementals and the pumps and all that. To do an indoor like my facility, it would take few solar panels. Yeah. So the initial investment is huge, but obviously the end, you know, it's no different than a house. You pay it off so quickly just in savings. But no, not that I know of. Nobody's actually come out and said that they are solar paneled. I know there's some farms in California and whatnot that are, but not in Maine. Not that
I saw this thing, you might have seen it. It was a solar panel, but it looked like a sunflower actually, and it moved with the sun.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that one. I've seen the ones that move with the sun, but they were just a big blocky.
Yeah, and it could retract when there was bad weather and stuff, and like go like down into like a little bunker. Yeah, it was pretty sick.
They make cool shit nowadays.
I forget how many watts it was, but it was so much more efficient than like It collected like 80% more sun than like a traditional solar panel because they will follow it the whole time. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah.
One day, man, it won't be long.
Yeah, hopefully. Solar frickin' roads.
Yeah.
So how long ago did you create Newton's Nursery?
About 4 years now, I guess. I created it when I left Alaska, essentially. Well, it was created while I was in Alaska. It just didn't mean shit when I was in Alaska because nobody knew what it was but me. I lived on a small island, so I couldn't tell anyone what I was doing. That's how I actually met all the people that I know down here and on the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's all via the internet.
No shit.
Yeah, because there's
like forums?
Yeah. There was only like 1,600 people on the island. So when that's the reason I started growing weed. It was $500 an ounce where I lived in Ketchikan, Alaska. And there was no like, oh, you get item 9 or you get animal and cream. It was like, this is what came up on the ferry this week. If you want some, let me know because it's going to be gone in about 2 hours. And it was $500 an ounce. So I went to my buddy's house down in Seattle one visit, and he had a pill bottle, an old pill bottle full of seeds that he had just saved from all the fucking fire weed that he got. And he dumped me out like 50 seeds. I bought a light, like I was telling your guy, and just hung it in this little corner of a fucking garage.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Started selling my own $500 ounces. Well, I started not having to buy $500 ounces, but you can't walk around town or go, like I used to go out and shoot a lot of pool because there's jack shit else to do. You can't go smoke a joint with everyone on Friday night when they're all smoking what came off the ferry. And you got some shit that's obviously not off the ferry. Yeah. So then I had to start telling people it was
ferry weed.
Right. So then I was telling people it was good. Oh, my guy in Oregon. Well, how are you getting it? It's none of your business. It just comes from Oregon because I obviously didn't want them to know it was on island. Well, then everybody's
it's
like,
a seaplane. It's a seaplane.
Yeah, exactly. Well, dude, there was a guy in BC that had a hollowed out log with a remote control in it, and he'd sit on the beach with a fucking RC controller and drift his log to the United States side. Fucking unload the thing, put the silicone cap back. Oh yeah, if you can think of it, bro, it's generally
That's funny.
But yeah, then everybody started wanting the Oregon weed. I want that weed you get from Oregon. I'll give you $500. Cool.
Yeah.
So after not having to buy $500 ounces, it was easier. Well, I'm gonna go buy another light. I'll buy an AC. Next thing you know, I had a couple extra ounces for my friends.
That's cool.
And then I ran out of weed. Or was going to run out of weed because I fucked up my timing, so I went down to an actual guy in Oregon that I did know, and I sent myself a pound of weed. Don't ever send yourself a pound of weed. It's never a smart move. Yeah, in the mail. I pulled into my driveway, and 4 dudes fucking pulled their little necklaces out with badges on them, and were like, "Can we talk to you for a minute?" And I was like, "Fuck."
Would you go through the postal service?
Yeah. Yep. Because the guy down in Oregon was like, "Oh, bro, people do this all the time," and they do.
Maybe not to a little island though.
Well, so this is the fucked up part of the story. They didn't go to the post office that day for my box. There was a kid on the island who was sending pills to himself or from someone in California, and the dog stopped at a different box, and they're like, "Jasper Newton, who the fuck's that kid?" They threw it to the side, did all their shit, went back, opened my box. Yeah, I didn't go to jail, like, nothing. They were just like, "Did you send this to yourself?" And I'm like, no. Yeah. And then they threatened to check my phone records. And the guy I got it from had a wife and kid. And then I was like, fuck it. I'm going to do the time before he gets caught. So I told him I sent it to myself. Only time I've ever been honest with the cops. And yeah, they walked out of my driveway.
Oh, they just walked out?
They just walked out. They're like, "You're not going to jail today. Have a nice day."
Oh, nice.
I sat down and smoked a cigarette next to my fire pit. I watched them walk down and around the corner because they obviously didn't park in the driveway. Saw them leave. I lived, like, my house was here, the highway was here, so I could hear them take off down the highway. I ran into my grow room and cut my plants down and lit them on fire because I was convinced they were coming back. So then I had no weed to sell for $500 an ounce and a pending court date. And the court date never happened. So after 6 months, I left because I couldn't grow weed anymore and moved to Oregon. And then actually had to do a court date on the phone with the judge for a $247 fine.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how Newton's Nursery started. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I can't grow weed anymore. I want to grow weed for a living.
Yeah.
In Oregon had just made it so they obviously had a medical program already in place. They had just made it legal, Oregon legal, for you to sell your overages to dispensaries. So then you could, under Oregon law, you could grow the weed, sell it to dispensaries legally. So I'm like, there you go, dream job, I can grow weed. And like I said, I was good at it. I've never been like a plant guy, not a science guy. it just comes out the way it comes out with what I do, and it seems to work. So.
And then you made the exodus to Maine.
Yeah, things didn't go well in Oregon. I wanted to get the fuck away as far as I could, and somebody was like, dude, Maine has great med laws.
Why weren't things going good in Oregon? Because of the market?
No, because the guy I work for decided it'd be a good idea when I quit working for him to keep some things that didn't belong to him, and that didn't sit well with me, especially since I knew where he lived. Like, I knew I could drive there and try and get it back, and it would just plague me. Like, the only time I'd ever been robbed was my car, all my CDs and shit, and I never knew who it was. So, like, yeah, it sucks to get robbed, but to know who did it, not that he robbed me, he just kept my shit. There's a fine line. But anyway, yeah, it just didn't go well in Oregon. I wanted out of there. And I'd already been to Oregon. I grew up in Seattle. Yeah. So everything that I was seeing in Oregon I had already seen as a kid. It had just been many years later. I'd never, ever been to the East Coast.
How do you like Maine compared to the other places?
It's beautiful. It's like taking a step back in time, I tell people from the West Coast. Like the way people are, the fact that you'll talk to your neighbor.
Everyone's so nice.
Everybody's super nice. Yeah. To the point where sometimes it's like, dude, shut the fuck up, I gotta go. And I hate being like that, but that's the West Coast coming out at me where I'm like, it's just a lot slower there. The people are cool. I just miss the mountains after being in Alaska for so long, like the big, intimidating, fucking huge mountains.
Because there's some mountains in Maine, but
there is, but
like up there.
No, but it's here's what I've learned. It's all a geological thing. Those mountains are fucking millions of years older. Mm-hmm. The mountains in Alaska are so new. It's on the rim of fire, a ring of fire, like. There's all kinds of stuff that I'm learning as I cruise around Maine, but yeah, no, it's a beautiful part of the country. I can now see why people come there from everywhere for fall. Mm-hmm. It's fucking amazing. I like the snow. A lot of people bitch about the cold.
No, I love
a lot of people bitch about the snow.
Those are so much fun.
I'm fat. I stay warm. I like the snow. So, yeah, I like Maine. It's cool. If they would get their shit together about the rec program, it would be nice, but they would.
So what's the deal with that?
Dude, they keep changing it, and I don't know this week or this month what the things are. My meeting with my lawyer is next week, and I'll get all up to date on everything. I know they're going to open caregiver storefronts. So, for example, I am a licensed caregiver with the state of Maine. They're going to enable me to open a storefront where you come in and you have a card. You can legally take home cannabis.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of caregivers in Maine are opening stores. Because here's the deal, they went with a dispensary model. We're going to open 8 dispensaries, or 6, or whatever it was.
That's what it originally was 6 for the entire state?
I think it was 6 or 8. You don't quote me, I guess it's on TV, but or radio. I don't know if it was 6. It was only a few. Yeah. It wasn't like 25. It was only a few, and they were like, these ones will supply for the state. Well, my understanding, chick from California showed up, money and lawyers bought like half of the licenses. Well, those half of the licenses are still operating in Maine, and those happen to be the ones that I mentioned earlier that have to tell people, oh, we sprayed your cannabis with said product that everyone knows is really bad for you. Mm-hmm. So that's where half of the market is. If you want to go, if you're in Maine and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to use Instagram, I don't know how to play by the rules, you can go in these places. Well, half of them are owned by her, the other half, I don't know who owns them, but it wasn't working. All of the caregivers are the ones putting out the decent medicine, not the dispensaries. Because the dispensaries have to grow their own. Yep. Well, they're not in it to grow good medicine. They're in it to make money. That's why they're spraying their medicine with shit that you shouldn't be consuming. Yeah. So Maine has now realized the caregivers are the ones that everyone is going to. So give them a spot to go because it will make it easier. Instead of having all these people that are so new to it and not knowing where to go. Now they have options. Now you've opened up the craft end of the thing. Instead of Budweiser, instead of going to wellness and getting shit that you know is sprayed with crap, I can go to said caregiver's store.
Yeah. Your favorite brand. You know?
Bingo. You want to smoke Newton's Nursery? In a couple weeks, I'll tell you where you can find it. Yeah. You want to smoke Danny's Weed? Danny's Weed's going to be at RJ's shop.
We'll do a review.
Pop the jars, buddy. Tell me what you think.
Oh, it smells delicious.
You didn't even get to the item 9 yet. You got stuck on that one. But yeah, no, that's how it's going to work in Maine. The Big Smooth, you want to smoke that one?
I don't care, whichever one. Doesn't matter to me.
Light that one, bro. It's already rolled.
I'm stoned, bro. I'm just
Joints with Jasper is not just a fancy hashtag, buddy. Like, this is...
I was trying to cut back, too, so, to be honest with you.
Everybody needs a cheat day, right? Isn't that what they're called on the diet world? Cheat days? Like,
for sure.
Today's your cheat day. You smoke a couple extra grams, and then tomorrow you can I've actually been thinking about quitting smoking a little bit too. I talked to somebody the other day.
The reason why is because of that sleep thing that I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out too,
that's
because
why.
I always blame it on working so much. Well, you worked 12 hours yesterday. You worked 14 hours yesterday. You've been dealing with X, Y, and Z on top of work stuff, and work stuff has you dealing with every other fucking letter in the alphabet until you got to X.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm not sleeping right. I mean, I know when I wake up in the morning, I can tell you that I have nights that I have bad sleep. I have really bad anxiety, I have PTSD, like I have all these other reasons.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame my girl, the one thing that I can fucking go to all the time. If you're going to tell me that she's the thing causing me to not sleep well, like...
You ever take edibles? Edibles help with sleep.
I do, and they do help me with sleep. I'm just super picky about where they come from. Like, I've worked in kitchens. I see a lot of people's weed, like the combination of those two things. Like, if I don't know where it's from or where it was made... Even the fancy ones, like people make them look really nice. They have amazing packaging. They know how to bake, so they look decent. You still put distillate in there that I don't know where it came from.
Yeah.
We go back to the whole, well, it got sprayed with, you know what I mean? And then it gets concentrated into distillate and then put in your food because it dissolves easy. I get it. Doesn't mean I want to eat it.
No.
Doesn't mean they're wrong for making it.
No,
and I'm sure there's plenty of places, like in today's day and age, there's people I know for a fact, kitchens that are, you know what I mean, tested and gone through by the state to make sure that they're all hygienic and everything. Like, it's not just some chick in her fucking kitchen making brownies anymore by any means.
No.
But it all goes back to
like
what
labs.
you start with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can have the nicest kitchen in the world. If you're making shitty weed, or from shitty weed, I don't want it. I don't want to eat it. So
I agree with that.
And here's the thing, like you said earlier when you looked at the jar about being spoiled, I'm fucking spoiled, bro.
How many flavors do you have?
I only brought 3 with me.
What I'm saying, what's going to be on the menu in a couple weeks?
There's going to be there's going to be a strain called Brabant, which is an old headband cut. Happens to be the same cut that I left Oregon without, which is what caused the problems. I spent the last 2.5 years getting it back.
Yeah.
Thanks to my buddy Pat and Pigs at Heroes of the Farm. I got it back,
nice.
And that will be on the menu. The item 9, which is something that I made, also in conjunction, I guess, with Heroes of the Farm. Pat's a good friend of mine. He's been nothing but amazing to me since I came down from Alaska. My Girl Scout cookies cup, my Gorilla Glue, anything that I lost, be it to a farm or just losing shit, tons and tons. I can't even name all the unreleased strains that I have from him, like a drawer full of shit that every time he comes to Maine, now that he knows I'm here, or even when I was in Oregon. In Oregon, he gave me the cuts. Now that he can't just hand me a cut, every time he comes home to Maine, the kid drops a lot of seeds, like hundreds of seeds of, here's this and this, and here's this crossed with this. Half of it never makes the menu. A lot of it's made with a strain called Dog Walker, which is a chem strain. It has a tendency to herm, so that doesn't per se make it too far. Especially
do you experience a lot of hermes?
I do.
Yeah.
It happens, yeah. I mean, it's a natural thing. A lot of people want to blame it on the breeder or whatever, but it's just something that happens in nature, especially when you deal with certain strains. You deal with a cookie strain, you're going to have a high herm tendency. It's just how it goes. That's how cookies was made. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, I didn't know that, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. No, that's why I have a select spot to run my seeds that is not around my workroom. So if something herms and I miss it, or if something, you know, just... Because, you see it. That's what I'm saying. I'll start with 150 seeds. 2 months from now, when I cut down those plants, there's only going to be 16. If you're too tall, if I don't like how you grow, if you don't like the nutrient regimen that I use, because it's going to be the same down the road. If you make it through the seed tent and go into production, you need to be able to run at the same consistency as everything else. So if it doesn't like the food, it's got to be really special for me to change my feeding for it, because I don't have time to do that. Now, say, for example, cookies or something like that, I will take the time, because I love cookies, to change my feed schedule for it.
Do you have your watering system automated and stuff?
No.
No? You hand water?
It's part of what it makes it crack cannabis, boss.
You hand water?
Hand water, everything. Everything gets hand watered, everything gets hand trimmed. I have a reservoir that has a pump in it, that one of the pumps spins it around so that the nutrient solution is always suspended. And then I have another pump that pumps it out through a hose so the kid can do it with a wand. But it's still hand watered. Like, every single one of those pots is touched by a human being every single time it gets watered. Because it's not like, oh, this one gets 2 gallons, this one gets, unless you have it dialed in and you know, or they're only getting 1 gallon today or whatever. Like, and for the new guys who don't know that yet, I have them go through, pick up every pot. You feel how heavy that is? That's when it doesn't need water.
That's what I tell
Feel
people
the next one, it needs a little water.
Is the
Because then you can give it a half gallon and even them all out, and then you're back on the same watering schedule. Hey, what do you know? This one needed that half gallon to stay good, while this one drank up that 2 gallons.
Yeah.
Now they're all even. Next time you water, it makes it easier on them. Again, it's no different than any other business now. Even on a craft level, you have to find ways to make things smoother, to run more efficiently, you know. You're paying for the lights, you're paying for the water, or whatever.
Sure.
Paying rent for the spot. You don't want to take extra time, be taking extra steps. That's one of the advantages I have of going out to Heroes of the Farm. He has an indoor for rec. He has greenhouses for rec. Like I can learn from him how to run a business and a farm on a more efficient level. And I'm super lucky to have that opportunity. A lot of people don't. So.
Have you tried any of the mechanical trimmers, like the Green Bros or any of those?
Nope.
No, not even tried them?
Nope.
I was just wondering. I don't know.
It would break my little heart to throw one of those nugs in one of those things and watch it. So here's the thing: there's a guy in Oregon who's a huge proponent of them, and I see his weed, and it doesn't look too horrible.
Well, I'm just saying, for mechanical, yeah, it doesn't look bad, but still, there's nothing like hand trimmed. The bud just has so much texture and depth, you know, like when it's hand trimmed.
Yeah. It's the little things like that that I feel are going to keep me separated.
Yeah.
Or anyone else that does that.
How long do you cure for?
Anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, generally.
Have you seen those things, the cure corks?
No.
It's like a digital jar lid, and you can program it to bug it.
Yeah. I did actually. I
thought that was kind of cool.
I have a strain called Oregon Diesel, and she just is a softer flower by nature, as opposed to something like the cookies that has that density, rock hardness to it.
Yeah.
And somebody threw it in their jar and was like, "This shit's 60% humidity," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool. That's awesome, because you know what? That's what it gets cured at, so that means it's right where it's supposed to be 3 days later when you're hitting me up." And he's like, "It's too wet, bro. I needed it like 53, 54. And I'm like, cool. Find the guy that will do that for you. I dry and cure my weed how I do it, and if you don't like it, like, I'm not going to cater to someone because they bought a $17 fucking lid at Primo that wants to tell me what to, you know.
Yeah.
I have a climate-controlled room that I put my weed in to dry and cure, and I'm fairly sure that I trust that a little more than a lid that goes on your jar.
Yeah.
But it's cool, you know. It's just like anything else. Somebody's going to come up with something. Just like Bovita. I've got the packs to keep them. And what are the Bovita packs at? 58%. So how is my 60% too far off from a company that's making a bunch of money every month? Rehydrating people's weed because they don't know how to dry it properly in the first place.
They make a good product, though. You've seen the people sell those Integra Boost bags, which are like a white version of that, but it's just like a saline. It doesn't work. It's garbage. But it's just funny to see people making a competitor product.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't work.
People get copied all the time, man.
Yeah.
People have taken my hashtags and shit to use them. People have come up with. Again, I was talking to Sherbert about the pencils the other day, and he's like, "Bro, there's people that are making the same exact pencils, same length, same eraser, same tip, blah blah blah." Like, why take the time and energy to duplicate what somebody else is already doing instead of putting that time and energy towards doing your own thing or fine-tuning what you already have or coming up with something new if what you're doing doesn't already work?
I guess people always want to take shortcuts.
It's bingo. It's just like the nutrient thing. You know why a lot of people run advanced and run the Psychos and run the Heavy 16?
Psycho's crazy amount of parts.
It's 4 parts, though. You take 4 jugs, A, B, C, you put them in a thing, you dump it in there. Cool, let's go give the plants the purple water. It's going to make them pretty, which it does because it's scientifically formulated to give the cannabis what it needs on these certain days, whether you know it or not. Yeah. You just have to read the back of the jug. Then you have pretty weed. Good job. Well, why does it all smell the same? Why do you hand me a fruity jar and a gas jar and they smell the same?
No, it's
why does all your weed taste the same when I smoke it?
Yeah, I feel
because it's all salts and it's not flushed and you don't know how to cure your weed. Anybody can grow pretty weed.
Cure weed. A lot of people don't cure weed.
It's the dry and the cure. That's where it's getting fucked up. And the flush. You can grow. I've smoked. There's people in Maine that grow with Psycho. There's people in Maine that grow with a bunch of nutrients. Weed burns clean. It doesn't taste the best to me personally, but weed is like everyone's baby. The ugliest fucking kid. The parents think the thing's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Everyone thinks their weed is the best and tastes the best. I think, you know, not the best. I shouldn't say that. But it doesn't taste as well to me as it could. But it burns nice. They know how to flush it. I know they're capable of doing it, but so many people don't. They're in a hurry. Why would you take 14 days to dry your weed when you can dry it in 8 and have it sold all by day 14?
Yeah. No, I get it.
For the same reason Budweiser can put out 100,000 cases in a week, and Bissell Brothers puts out however many. I'm not a beer drinker, but you know what I mean. You know what Bissell Brothers is?
No.
I keep using this reference.
I don't drink beer.
RJ, help me out here.
But
somebody,
I went to a
you know what I mean?
gastropub.
Craft can or craft beer.
But I went to a gastropub in Maine one time, and they had like friggin', I don't know how many beers, but
there
like
you
crazy amount of beers.
It's huge in Maine,
Yeah.
and that's because people are realizing, you know what? Instead of buying this $8 fucking case of Budweiser, I'll spend $12 on a fucking 6-pack of this, but it'll taste that much better, and they appreciate that, and it's worth the extra $4 or whatever to them to do it.
I drank a kombucha from Maine, and friggin' I got a buzz from it.
Yeah,
It
I
was
don't
a
like that
blueberry
shit.
kombucha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's an acquired taste. I don't think I've quite acquired it yet.
It's like very bitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's a fermented fucking thing.
I know people that grow that shit.
Yeah.
They're
It's like a tea.
Look at this big
brew.
jar of craziness. I'm like, what is that? And they're like, it's kombucha that I grew from like.
You see something
You can't
swim
get
around
it.
in there?
Yeah, so you have to get it from somebody. Like you would have to give me like a culture or whatever. I don't remember how it's passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, you would have to give me one. Like I can't go buy kombucha seeds and start my own. Like you have to get a
like a
spore or a start. It's like yeast
yeah.
kind of. Well, I guess the yeast you can buy, but yeah, something is already living that somebody has to like give you. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, man. I see a lot of people drinking it, and it's just not my gig. Thanks, Bubba. Yeah, no, I drink water and I drink some Jack Daniels. That's about it. I drink green tea. That's not true.
There you go.
And Thai tea. But yeah, no, I don't like kombucha. It tastes like just craziness.
I just drink water.
There you go, buddy. So yeah, that's Newton's Nursery from Alaska.
You going to the Harvest
Slow
Cup?
growing weed. I'm not. I actually got invited to go to a thing called the Ego Clash out in California. You ever heard of Third Gen Family?
No.
Dying Breed Seeds.
Okay.
Moonshine Melts.
Yep, diamond seeds.
Yeah, they're all. That's all. I don't know who's associated with who. I know Brandon is involved in all of it, and I got him. He does a thing called the Ego Clash, which is like I think it's a play on words because everyone think he has a huge ego. Like he acts like an ass on the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
But the man's never been anything but polite and respectful to me. Like he invited me to be his farm before I left. Met his pops. Met all his workers. Laced me out with a bunch of third gen gear. There's never been anything but nice to me. Anyway, it's called the Ego Clash, and I got invited for my flowers.
Was it like a sesh or a
It's
cup?
it's an invite only competition.
Oh.
Like you have to be invited. You have to.
Why are you up with a hidden camera?
Ha! I don't think so, man.
No, I'm just
I don't want to get disqualified.
I'm just joking, man.
I know. But yeah, no, I'm going out there for that, and since I'm out there for that, the Emerald Cup is the following weekend.
Oh,
like this event is on a Friday. The next Saturday and Sunday is Emerald Cup, which I tend to go to every year since I've been down from Alaska. Mm-hmm. So it's an opportunity for me to just go get a little left coast of my life, go look at the right ocean for once and watch the sunset instead of the sunrise.
That'd be cool.
Hug a redwood, you know.
I've only been out to like Colorado. I've never been.
Bro, you gotta go, man. I tell a lot of people in Maine, there's a lot of people in Maine that haven't left Maine. I'm like, you guys gotta go to the other side of the country.
Oh man,
just once, just to see it. Like, look at the
I
other
love
ocean.
Maine,
Like,
but I can never imagine not leaving Maine.
dude, you gotta see a redwood tree. Like,
Oh.
you have to look at a tree that's so big that
Well,
you're like, how the fuck?
See, I'd be excited, but then I'd be sad because I'm a tree hugger, and there's no way I could hug that tree. So.
Bro, you don't need to put your arms around it to hug it. You just need to put your shit like this and realize how much tree is still there
Yeah.
and to appreciate that what you're doing is amazing. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Out to the Emerald Cup. And I know a lot of people out there that I'm going to be able to go see. And it's obviously I shouldn't say obviously, maybe you don't know. It's a big seed thing. So in California, December is seed buying season. You go buy all the new shit from everyone because in January you can start it so that by March you have plants that are sexed and ready to go outside. So in the last few years it has gotten much bigger, obviously, as a lot of these events have. And a lot of people go. A lot of breeders go.
Like thousands of people?
Oh yeah, to the event, thousands and thousands of people. But a lot of the big name breeders are going to be there. Me and Gene's going to be there, which a lot of people out here don't know, but he's an old school guy in California that does a lot of amazing shit. Mac's going to be there. Mike, fucking Duke Diamonds. Like, there's a lot of people that are making seeds right now that a lot of people want that are going to be at this event.
That's cool.
So for kids out here on the East Coast, like last year when I went, I ran into a whole crew of kids from Maine that I know and like talk to somewhat regularly. Mm-hmm. I turned around and there they were. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? They were all high as shit on acid. They were all buying seeds and partying.
Kind Mine, there was a lot of acid there.
There was some dude in a purple dinosaur suit jumping around and dancing in front of us for a while.
There's all types of stuff.
I figured he was high.
I remember I saw some guy running around with a bag full of liquid. I thought it was wine at first, but he's like...
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I have pictures of my phone of the dude sitting behind my booth, one of my workers going like this, and my buddy Jake fucking dropping shit on his finger. Yeah, the last day, Sunday, when we realized it was all done, I gave the whole crew the day off. I'm like, go do whatever you want. Like 45 minutes later, they show up. I'm like, oh, that's what you guys decided to do. Have a nice night.
They went to the cornfield.
Bro, I heard stories... They went to the cornfield and were like, the cornfield was really weird, but they did go there. Yeah. My buddy D went to the cornfield.
We went to the cornfield a bunch of times.
And for some reason thought that the cops were coming.
Yeah.
And he ran, instead of out the fucking entrance, he ran into the cornfield. Nobody saw him for the rest of the night. 6 o'clock in the morning, apparently, he comes stumbling out, just looking rough as fuck. Got in his car without saying a word to anyone and left.
Bounced.
Yeah.
So that's enough. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So that was his cornfield experience. I, unfortunately, being the boss man, I don't do that shit a whole lot anymore. Yeah. I gotta break down the shit and make sure that everything's taken care of and make sure everyone's taken care of. And yeah, if I'm gonna have any fun like that, it's gonna be when I know I got a good couple days to be out in the woods and not be worried about work stuff. But yeah, there was definitely, and I think that's what it's about. I mean, you can tell by the music venue and everything else, like, it's one of those events. It's one of those festivals.
You'll obviously be there next year.
I'm gonna see. No? You know, it didn't. Here's the thing.
Didn't pan out well.
It didn't go as well as I thought it would.
Yeah.
We were told as a group of caregivers that we would be the only ones allowed to sell any cannabis or have any cannabis there. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't the case. It was all over the venue. There was a guy literally. So they put us in a barn, right? All 9 of us or whatever it was. Told everyone this is where it was. You walk outside and take a left like 10 feet, and there's a dude with like throw the tennis ball at the milk carton things. Yeah. Well, the tennis balls are $15, and if you knock down a milk carton, you just won 2 grams of weed. Good job.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so I'm like, cool. I mean, there was all kinds of people there that were just selling weed, and it was just, it kind of bummed me out that the security people or whoever was running it didn't do anything about it. I'd like to say that it bummed me out that the other people didn't have the respect to be like, hey, cool, they got picked to do it, not me.
Yeah.
But they want to make their money. You know what I mean? But if you knew that that was the case and that's what you're there doing, why'd you even buy a booth? Like, I don't know. It was all right.
Yeah.
A lot of people came by. It was cool to meet a lot of people. It wasn't a bad event by any means.
What was it, 3 days, right?
Yeah, buddy. I threw an air mattress right behind my table and fucking slept right there. That way nobody fucked with my shit. I was in a barn out of the rain.
Yeah. I know it poured for a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, being that far out, I wasn't going to drive back and forth. I wasn't going to get a hotel room. Like, I like camping. I got a sleeping bag. I got a 45. I ain't scared of somebody high on acid, some fucking weirdo trying to do something strange. Like, not that I would ever shoot anyone, but...
Yeah.
All you have to do is slide the slide back.
You just deter them, shoot them in the foot or something.
That's just it. You just, I mean, anybody in the dark, you hear that sound, you know what the fuck it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you don't, then...
real quick, yeah.
So, yeah, we will probably be back, hopefully be back for Boston Freedom Rally. That went really well. We had a good time there. Saw a lot of people.
Yeah, that was
I don't know how the city of Boston is going to feel about it, but if we can do it...
Hopefully they don't freaking try to get rid of it.
From what I hear, they're pushing pretty hard,
yeah,
man. They were pretty upset.
Pretty hard. And it's the powers that be.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think next year's 30 years, isn't it, though? Like, they should at least let it go one more year. Somebody's telling me they're trying to get Cypress Hill or somebody big like that to come play for the 30-year anniversary.
That'd be sick.
Would be sick.
And then maybe it would bring in more money for the city.
More money? They got to be making money off that many people being down there.
I mean, the local businesses, I guess, are saying that it's not.
Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because everybody pays to park and then goes to spend their money in the commons.
Yeah.
But that's 1, 2, 3, 3 days out of the year. You get 362 to make the money every other day.
Maybe some people attending that, like,
Dude, I went to 7-Eleven. I bought lunch for my crew right across the street.
All right, so
I stayed at a hotel. I tipped the fucking landlady or the cleaning lady.
I went to 2 places to eat in the area.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so what the heck?
Like I was saying, just like the towns in Maine, I don't understand them saying, no, I don't want you to grow weed here. Well, you know how much money me and my crew spend in your little town? Buying lunch, buying cigarettes, filling up the car, tipping the waitress. You know what I mean? If that waitress makes an extra $10 a day because I tipped her and my fucking guy tipped her, that's $10, man. Like, you tell them to go away, that's going to go away for her. The HVAC guys that are all busy all winter long now, everybody, the security guys, the camera guys, everybody's making money off this. The dumpster people that have to empty the dumpster, the CO2 guys, the power company, the fucking grow store. Everybody's getting, you know what I mean?
It's a whole industry.
Yeah.
It's the birth of a whole industry.